everybody, my name is Travis the Gamer, and I've come to you guys with something pretty cool that I'm about to embark on. But before that, Happy New Year's everyone! Welcome to the year 2019, where hopefully we're going to have great prices and maybe some leading innovations in the world of tech. But let's go ahead and summarize real quick on what 2018 gave us. So, due to cryptocurrency mining in the early part of 2018, it gave us high prices for RAM and graphics card. More on the graphics card, but with RAM, that was because of the manufacturers redirecting their resources to other efforts, such as the ROG phone and the Razer phones. But when those started equalizing in terms of price, when we gave it enough time, we had the introduction of the Ryzen processors. The Ryzen processors are a family of processors now that all come out can come out overclockable, so you can overclock any of them, and it is a great price to performance part that really disrupted the market in terms of processors. And in the world of graphics cards, well, AMD came out with some good hits with Vega, but it really wasn't that great. Not compared to what happened in the latter part of 2018 with the introduction of, or the reveal of, should I say, RTX. RTX has come up with something that's not revolutionary in terms of innovation, but in terms of implementation, yes, it is. With rasterization and of course the whole reflections and mirrors effect that it has with modern day games, it really has paved its path to something amazing. But now here in 2019, that means with prices going down and equalizing and the introduction of a new GPU family, that means that we're going to have great deals in 2019 in terms of used PCs or even older generation PC components now. So with this year, I'm going to kick it off with a nice entry-level system. Now with an entry-level system, that usually equates to your micro ATX and or your ITX builds. So with mine, it is a micro ATX, and I've had this lower than $500. Now I did go with an APU from Ryzen. So Ryzen has two APUs for the new generation of APUs. They have the 2200G and the 2400G. APUs are basically processors with integrated graphics in them. Can't call Intel's CPUs APUs because those are all like default integrated graphics and they're kind of crap. But with Ryzen does pave a new path here, and this is overclockable, by the way. You can overclock it if you have the proper motherboard to do so. So with my build here, I have a Ryzen build. It's a nice price to performance ratio, and it comes under $500, well under $500. And even if we don't include the mail-in rebate for our power supply, it's still well under $500. So let me go ahead and hop into this. Just keep in mind, this is an entry-level system, so you're not going to be playing AAA games at 60 frames per second or higher. You will have to keep that in mind. That is the big caveat here. But with this build, that doesn't mean you don't have to do that. Remember, your mileage may vary in terms of your components. Let's go ahead and hop right into what I have to show you. So, with a processor is the brain of the system. And what I have here is the Ryzen 3 2200G. This is a great way to get into the PC gaming world, and this is a great way to start off with, as an entry-level gamer. That means you can play games like, I don't know, Overwatch, League of Legends, games like that, any type of Dota-based games. You can play emulators, so if you do emulated games like the Nintendo 64 emulator, Super Nintendo emulator, stuff like that, you can play games for sure with this and enjoy them. And of course, this is a Raven Ridge, so this is not Ryzen 2, so to speak. This is like before Ryzen Plus and Ryzen 2 came into the picture. This is Vega. It has Vega 8 graphics, so pretty good. 1100 megahertz. It's not going to be like grand, but it'll get the job done. And of course, you're dealing with quad cores, 4 actual physical cores. So the fact that they were able to take that Infinity Fabric die and put 4 cores on one end and the graphics on the other, pretty impressive. And they were able to do that while achieving 65 watts. So you're probably wondering, where's the CPU cooler? Well, I won't need one, obviously, because it comes with one. From what I hear, the Wraith's Stealth cooler is a really, really solid cooler that can get the job done. So the motherboard I will be putting all of this on will be Gigabyte B450M DS3H motherboard. So Gigabyte's been known to have they've been known to have reputable brands and pretty durable brands. And with this one, it's no laughing matter. It has some pretty solid power phases here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 2. So you do have some overclocking abilities. Not great overclocking abilities, but you do have some if you choose to do that. You got 4 DIMM slots here, so you can populate all of them if you want and do 64 gigabytes. And you got 2 PCIe by 16 slots. So if you wanted to, you can use a crossfire configuration for this, if that suits your fancy. If that tickles a pickle. But I did choose this because, one, it has an M.2 slot, so we can put M.2 here. So we can replace a typical SATA drive and upgrade that baby to an NVMe or even an SSD M.2 drive if you don't want to clog up the real estate here. So great features on this board. We have 4 USB 2.0, 4 USB 3.0, 1 DVI-D port, 1 HDMI port, 1 gigabit Ethernet port, your PS2 port if you're rocking those out, and 2.1 audio sound. I believe it's 2.1. Don't quote me. But yeah, this supports first generation Ryzen, so 1500, 1300X, 1700X, 1800. Those are the first gen, so it covers that. It covers the APUs, Raven Ridge processors, and it even covers second gen processors. So you got like 3 generations right there. I'm pretty sure that it also supports Zen Plus, so technically 4. But yeah, it covers a huge gambit of processor capabilities, or should I say upgrade abilities. And yeah, you don't even have to worry. For about $70, it's a pretty good deal. And it should last you for the long run. And oh yeah, something I forgot to mention, pretty decent cooler. It's a pretty small cooler for your chipset. So let's go ahead and move on to memory, because memory is one of the most important, mind you, most important components in a PC. You will not run your PC with no RAM, unless you're just really crafty and you find a way not to. Technically, you don't need to run PCs with RAM, because RAM is just random access memory, short term. And yeah, but for some reason it's there, so it's pretty cool to have it included in the family. So I have here Patriot Viper 8GB variant, so 2x4, and it's running at 3000 megahertz, or 3 gigs. So 3000 megahertz memory, or speed. So yeah, I have it for this because, well, 1, DDR4, it will fit this motherboard. I did check that. And 3000 I think is really good. I'm not going to go with 3200 because it's a little bit more. And I want to make sure that we get some performance out of this. Ryzen does get a performance boost from having faster memory speed as opposed to anything else. So great price. We're looking at here, even with shipping, about like $92, $93. So under $100, great price for RAM. So here is our M.2. This is our NVMe SSD. So insane boot times. I'm going to be using this as a boot drive for the PC. So you're going to have insane boot times, probably like 6 to 10 seconds, as opposed to like 20 to 30 with a typical mechanical drive. So definitely will enjoy the benefits of that. We don't really need 512 gigs of memory. This will be under the category of storage, so like permanent memory, unless you reformat it. But I digress. So this will be 128 gigs, and the reason why is because I will have one for mass storage. So this will be again for the boot drive, and of course for $34, you can't go wrong, and especially with free shipping. I mean, seriously. So hopping on over to our major storage, or our storage bank, will be our Hitachi UltraStar drive. This is our drive that we're going to store all of our games, programs, and anything else you want in here. I do have it here. This is at 7,200 RPM, so pretty good price. We have this at 1 terabyte for $39. $39. Just remember, this used to be a lot of money back in the day. But $39 for 1 terabyte. Again, your mileage may vary. You may get one that has a higher capacity for the same price. If you do, more power to you. And I personally have a Hitachi drive in my current system now, and I've had no problems whatsoever with it. So it's kind of like a little shameless recommendation. But let's move on. We're going to have to store this baby and, of course, power the baby. So let's go ahead and see what I will be storing it in. So I have it here that I will be storing everything in a Rosewill Micro ATX Mini Tower computer case. Yes, that's what it says. Rosewill Micro ATX Mini Tower computer case. But but yeah, I'm going to store everything in here. Granted, this is a entry-level system. We're not going to spend like buku dollars. It's up to you. If you choose to do that, that will be up to you. But I chose this build because if you look at it, first and foremost, it is $20 with free shipping. Wow, just wow. Second thing on this list, this baby has a USB 3.0. Don't expect a USB Type-C port on here, but it has a 3.0 port. As well as two 2.0 on the top, a headphone and audio jack, reset button, and power switch. And for those of you who rock out with an optical drive, you have that slot right here for you guys. So you have your 120mm fan port there, so you have your perforation there. You have your intake here if you choose to add fans, and your 80mm in the back. Now this will be a top-mounted power supply, so keep that in mind. But yeah, I mean, pretty decent case. You got some space right here to put everything that you need in, and of course there is some upgradability, and of course some breathing room for all your components. So if you choose to add a graphics card, you can do that. Just remember, clearance will be a little low, and keep in mind the size of your graphics card. So yeah, I think this is a great price for the case. Not going to go anything extravagant because, well, it's a case, and we're not going to have anything that's going to really be pumping out wattage. So speaking of wattage, we got to have something that will power everything, and I have here the EVGA 600 watt bronze rated power supply. I know this is overkill, but I'm keeping this in mind for future expandability. This is a non-modular power supply, which means everything is attached to this power supply itself. This is a single rail system, at least for your 12-volt rail. It does have support for SLI, which means it also has support for Crossfire, so don't get that. Basically, it has support for multi-GPU configurations. 600 watts is more than enough for this build. Like I said, it's overkill, but I'm thinking of the future here. And of course, we have the fact that it is both 85% efficient and it is 80 plus bronze certified. Make sure if you get a power supply, try to at least get it to where it's at least 80% efficient and at least 80 plus certified. Anything less, it's kind of a iffy thing. So, yep. So let's go ahead and hop on over to the peripherals. I don't have gaming headphones in here, so you won't be able to rock out with those, but you will be able to rock out with these Logitech speakers. They are very low wattage, so 2.3 watts. It has a pretty good range of audio for our ears. so 50 hertz to 20 kilohertz. And of course, this does also require an external power source. So you will need to plug this into like your wall or your uninterrupted power supply, anything like that. But yeah, pretty good price, 10 bucks. You can't go wrong with that. And for the last thing on this list, it's not a mouse, haha, will be a bundle. So it's going to be a bundle of a keyboard, mouse, and mouse pad. I do have other bundles that I have on my save list for this same type of build. A bundle will include that. Also does include it does include headphones as well, but that's up to the range like $40 to $50. And even though I can compromise for that, I'm just gonna choose this because who knows? You might not be the person who wants headphones. So if you want headphones, you can always add that onto this budget. Just remember, this is below $500, so keep that in mind. I think this is a great bang for the buck here because you're getting a mouse pad, a mouse, and a keyboard for $25.99. So like 26 bucks. And this has addressable RGB. Well, you only get, really, in reality, you get like 3. But you have a mouse that has different DPI settings and different color settings. Plus, this thing that kind of sold me on this, the fact that it has drain ports for your keyboard. So if you accidentally spill something on it, then you won't have to worry about this keyboard being a dump or being a paperweight. It will go straight out through the back and you can drain it and keep playing with it. So they have some nice forward thinking with this product line. So yeah, that's pretty much my build. That's kind of like the method to my madness. And again, it is $405 with the $15 mail-in rebate. And if not, then it's about $413.60. Really good deal here. Great entry-level PC, in my opinion. If you like it, go ahead and put a like on that video. If you didn't, then you can put a thumbs down. I will see you guys in the next video of whatever I decide to do. Until then, ta-ta for now, everyone.